Now come. This is soothing whispers. ASMR. As always, if there are any sounds or words you would like to hear me perform, please leave them below in the comments. Tonight, I thought we could read some more of the delightful Aesop's Fables, beginning with the Mole and his Mother. A little mole once said to his mother, "My mother, you said I was blind, but I am sure I can see." Mother Mole saw she would have to get such conceit out of his head, so she put a bit of frankincense before him and asked him to tell what it was. The little mole peered at it. "Why, that's a pebble." "Well, my son, that proves you've lost your sense of smell as well as being blind." Moral: boast of one thing and you will be found lacking in that, and a few other things as well. The North Wind and the Sun. The North Wind and the Sun had a quarrel about which of them was stronger. While they were disputing with much heat and bluster, a traveler passed along the road wrapped in a cloak. "Let us agree," said the Sun, "that he is the stronger who can strip that traveler of his cloak." "Very well," growled the North Wind, and at once sent a cold, howling blast against the traveler. With the first gust of wind, the ends of the cloak whipped about the traveler's body, but he immediately wrapped it closely around him, and the harder the wind blew, the tighter he held it to him. The North Wind tore angrily at the cloak, but all his efforts were in vain. Then the sun began to shine. At first his beams were gentle, and in the pleasant warmth, after the bitter cold of the north wind, the traveler unfastened his cloak and let it hang loosely from his shoulders. The sun's rays grew warmer and warmer. The man took off his cap and mopped his brow. At last he became so heated that he pulled off his cloak, and, to escape the blazing sunshine, threw himself down in the welcoming shade of a tree by the roadside. Moral: gentleness and kind persuasion win where force and luster fail. Hare and His Ears. The lion had been badly hurt by the horns of a goat which he was eating. He was very angry to think that any animal that he chose for a meal should be so brazen as to wear such dangerous things as horns to scratch him while he ate. So he commanded that all animals with horns should leave his domains within 24 hours. The command struck terror among the beasts. All those who were so unfortunate as to have horns, began to pack up and move out. Even the hare, who, as you know, has no horns and so had nothing to fear, passed a very restless night, dreaming awful dreams about the fearful lion. And when he came out of the warren in the early morning sunshine, and there saw the shadow cast by his long and pointed ears, a terrible fright seized him. "Goodbye, neighbor Cricket," he called out. "I'm off. The lion will certainly make out that my ears are horns, no matter what I say." Moral: do not give your enemies the slightest reason to attack your reputation. Your enemies will seize any excuse to attack you. The wolves and the sheep. A pack of wolves lurked near the sheep pasture, but the dogs kept them all at a respectful distance, and the sheep grazed in perfect safety. But now the wolves thought of a plan to trick the sheep. "Why is there always this hostility between us?" they said. "If it were not for those dogs who are always stirring up trouble, I am sure we should get along beautifully. Send them away, and you will see what good friends we shall become." The sheep were easily fooled. They persuaded the dogs to go away, and that very evening the wolves had the grandest feast of their lives. Moral: do not give up friends for foes. Cock and the Fox. A fox was caught in a trap one fine morning because he had got too near the farmer's hen house. No doubt he was hungry, but that was not an excuse for stealing. A cock, rising early, discovered what had happened. He knew the fox could not get at him, so the cock went a little closer to get a good look at his enemy. The fox saw a slender chance of escape. "Dear friend," he said, "I was just on my way to visit a sick relative when I stumbled into this string and got all tangled up. But please do not tell anybody about it. I dislike causing sorrow to anybody, and I am sure I can soon gnaw this string to pieces." But the cock was not so easily fooled. He soon roused the whole hen yard, and when the farmer came running out, that was the end of Mr. Fox. Moral: the wicked deserve no aid. The Ass in the Lion's Skin. An ass found a lion's skin left in the forest by a hunter. He dressed himself in it, and amused himself by hiding in a thicket and rushing out suddenly, and the animals who passed that way all took to their heels the moment they saw him. The ass was so pleased to see the animals running away from him, just as if he were King Lion himself, that he could not keep from expressing his delight by a loud, harsh bay. A fox, who ran with the rest, stopped short as soon as he heard the voice. Approaching the ass, the fox said with a laugh, "If you had kept your mouth shut, you might have frightened me too, but you gave yourself away with that silly bray." Moral: a fool may deceive by his dress and appearance, but his words will soon show what he really is. The Fisherman and the Little Fish. A poor fisherman who lived on the fish he caught had bad luck one day and caught nothing but a very small fry. The fisherman was about to put it in his basket when the little fish said, "Please spare me, Mr. Fisherman. I am so small that it is not worth while to carry me home. When I am bigger, I shall make you a much better meal." But the fisherman quickly put the fish into his basket. "How foolish I should be," he said, "to throw you back. However small you may be, you are better than nothing at all." Moral: a small gain is worth more than a large promise. The Fighting Cocks and the Eagle. Once there were two cocks living in the same farmyard who could not bear the sight of each other. At last one day they flew up to fight it out, beak and claw. They fought until one of them was beaten and crawled off to a corner to hide. The cock that had won the battle flew to the top of the hen house and, proudly flapping his wings, crowed with all his might to tell the world about his victory. But an eagle, circling overhead, heard the boasting chancelleteer, and swooping down, carried him off to his nest. The cock's rival saw the deed, and coming out of his corner, took his place as the master of the farmyard. Moral: pride goes before a fall. That was the entirety of that book of Aesop's Fables. I hope you enjoyed them. Calm, relax, lie back, just lie back and drift away. have come to the end of our video. As always, I wish you a wonderful day and a wonderful night. Sweet dreams.